Pull-ups are designed to go up and down like underwear. This helps build big kid confidence.
Let's see that again. He opens the Gemini app and asks for the best tires for his car.
How's Gemini gonna know what kind of car?
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another Watch with Nordic live commentary stream. Holy crap, we have 26 people in here to start off. What's going on, everyone? I haven't turned on my screen yet. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. We are back for yet again another Watch with Nordic live commentary stream. And today we are commentating the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. It feels good to be back. We haven't commentated since Wednesday. And again, it's been a rough couple of days with not a lot of streams in between, but fortunately for you guys, we're going to start easing back into the commentary and start ramping it up as we get ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs here. We have this one tonight. We have one on Tuesday, two on Wednesday, two on Thursday, and then one next week on Sunday as well. We have 6 commentaries coming at you this week. This is just the last one of only 2 for this week. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Currently waiting for the Capitals and Rangers game to end so we can get started with this next one that's coming up here. But the Rangers are currently beating the Capitals 8-1, and I believe Will Cooley just scored a hat trick in the final 30 seconds of play. So it's going to take a little bit longer to actually hop into the game here, but don't worry, we won't miss any of the action. We're still going to get all this stuff done and all that. Thank you all for tuning in. So this game's been interesting for both teams. One team is trying to stay alive in the playoff race. The other team is trying to clinch the Central Division and basically confirm a first-round matchup in the playoffs. The Avalanche are looking to clinch the first-place spot in the Pacific Division, in the Central Division, with a record of 50-15-10 for 110 points this season. They currently stand first place not only in the NHL, but also first place in the Central Division. If they win tonight, they will clinch that spot, and obviously that will probably pretty much confirm a first-round playoff series between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild officially. I think we all know that that was going to be a matchup before, it's going to be officially confirmed here. But regardless of that, the St. Louis Blues are looking to stay in the playoff race. They suddenly found themselves alive here in the race. With a record of 32, 31, and 12 for 76 points, they're 6-2-2 in their last 10. They currently stand 5 points out with a game in hand. So if they do win this one, they will obviously be in a playoff spot. Or if they win this one, they will be within 3 points of a playoff spot, battling with Winnipeg, San Jose, LA, and Nashville for a spot. Happy Easter, KFB. Welcome to the stream. Happy Easter, everybody who's watching. Disney did pick a high-scoring game. It's kind of a meh game, honestly. I was like... And I watched a little bit of the Disney Classic or whatever. I'm like, what is this? What is this thing? Thank you, Sharky. Glad to hear you got your clock thing out. Do you think that was make the playoffs? It's not over yet. My Philadelphia Flyers can definitely still blow it. Is this game only available on ESPN? Yes. It is only available on ESPN. It's a little bit of a later start than what it would usually be due to the Rangers and the Capitals game. Usually when there's ESPN broadcasts of a game prior, the game that is later will typically start a lot later than usual. So, there you go. Time winding down in this one, about like 15 seconds to go. And then we'll get into the actual game itself here. I did start a little bit earlier than I normally do because with these games, it depends. Sometimes there's a broadcast for the other game before. Sometimes there's not. In this case, there is not. So I started a little bit earlier just to make up for that missed time. But the Rangers just defeated the Capitals 8-1. And that is good news for not only the Flyers, my Philadelphia Flyers, but also the Islanders as well, as they're trying to stay alive in their playoff race currently. But, regardless of that, we're not here to commentate that. We're here to commentate Blues and Avalanche. We got a little bit of a good audience here for this one tonight. 38 people here before puck drop. That's great to see. Love to see you guys coming out and supporting the commentaries regardless. It is really appreciated. I know it's been a rough couple of days in terms of not getting streams out. Been busy in my personal life with work and all that stuff. And Easter obviously played an impact on that. But now that that is passed, we have 6 commentaries coming up this week. I could not be more excited. I'm very excited to commentate some hockey here for you guys. So tonight, the starting goaltenders are Jordan Binnington and, or not Jordan Binnington, are Joel Hofer and Mackenzie Blackwood. Those are projected starting goaltenders per NHL.com. Not 100% sure if that is the actual starting goalies there. And we are ready to get underway here in Colorado. With a win tonight, the Avalanche can clinch the division in the Central. And we'll go over the starting goaltenders here while we're at it. Joel Hofer in net for St. Louis, 20-12-5, a 2.58 and a .910. He has 6 shutouts, which is a career high for him. He's had a pretty good year despite the struggles going on in St. Louis. And then on the other side for Colorado, he's been there the entire year and has played really, really well. Mackenzie Blackwood, 21-9-1, a 2.57 and a .899. His 3 shutouts. He struggled in his last couple of games, has allowed 9 goals in his last 2 starts. Be sure to vote on the poll in the comments down below. That will end at the end of the first period. And here we go, Avalanche and Blues, and we are underway as I forget to set my clock. Of course, I knew I was forgetting something. Puck is dumped back down low then into the St. Louis zone. Broberg battling for it down low in the corner. McKinnon trying to feed a pass to center. Lehkonen trying to play it free. And the Blues will get it back to the neutral zone. Devon Toews dumps it down low then into the St. Louis zone. It is an icing against the Avalanche to get things started here 19 seconds in to this opening period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Again, got a good crowd here to start. Sorry if I'm a little bit out of it. I'm feeling a little bit tired, I'm not going to lie. Traveled back about a 2-hour drive from family today. Here's McKinnon, cross-ice pass up to Natchez. Natchez with some room, comes in all alone. Saved by Hofer. What a stop by Joel Hofer. As Natchez was immediately sent on a 1-0 breakaway, it was pretty easy for him to get around the D. Here come the Blues the other way. Snuggerud fires it down low. It deflects back into the corner. Parayko battling for it down low. Feeds it up top then. Thomas. Back over then for Parayko. Tries a little bit around down low. Parayko over to Holloway. Holloway clears it around behind the net. Lehkonen picks it up back over alongside Snuggerud. Puck deflects up in the air. And the Avalanche reclaim the puck. Toews down low then to Malinsky. Kel McCarr is still out of the lineup after suffering an injury on Tuesday, I believe, against the Calgary Flames. Hopefully, McCarr will be back before the playoffs. Nelson, down low, battling for it then with Toews. Picked back up then by Malinsky. Through center, Nazem Kadri trying to get sent on a 1-0 breakaway. It was broken up by the ref. Up top then, Buchnevich, a shot goes wide of Blackwood. Malinsky battling for it down low. St. Louis trying to play it back down low. Yeah, the Avalanche are in their throwback jerseys. They're wearing their third alternates from about a year ago. They're wearing their mountain triangle with the C in the middle. Puck is cleared back into the St. Louis zone. Fowler picks it up for the Blues. Cam Fowler now in St. Louis's end looking for options. Pass over to Tyler Tucker, who dumps it down low into the Colorado end. Still no shots on goal here through about 2 minutes of play. Delayed offsides against the Blues. Manson down low. Cross-ice pass up then for Drury. Stolen back then by the Blues. Cairo will dump it down low into the Avalanche end. Now Jack Drury picks it up for the Avalanche. Chipped off the boards. And all the way back into the St. Louis end once again. Logan Mailloux intercepted. Drury cross-ice pass. And a shot there from Colton goes wide. Up top, Manson dumps it around behind the net. Hofer out of his net to play it. Nearly fell on the ground there. It's grabbed back by the Blues, who will get it to center. Holloway banked off the boards, then back down low. Battling forward is Jack Finley, who was a waiver pickup a couple of weeks ago. He's kind of been an effective player for the Blues. Been on that third line. Here's Parayko. Down low now in the St. Louis end. We'll give it up then for Jake Neighbors. Neighbors to center. P.S. Suter comes in, looks for options, fires it. Saved there by Blackwood. Here come the Avalanche now through center. It's Nick Blackenberg who will dump it into the St. Louis zone. In the corner, Lehkonen back over to O'Connor. Logan O'Connor feeds it up top. Shot there goes wide. Now Buchnevich will backhand this one all the way back into the Colorado end. Avalanche will get some time here to regroup. About 16 and a half minutes to go here in this first period. Still no shots so far. Here's Natchez, a shot on, saved by Hofer. And there's the first shot of the game. Actually, that's incorrect. Second shot of the game for the Avalanche. ESPN just not bothering to update their stat sheet here. So again, there's a lot at stake here in this game. You may not realize it, but the Avalanche with a win tonight can clinch the Central Division, but also the top seed in the Western Conference. If St. Louis wins, they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot, which, I mean, again, like, it's unlikely that they make the playoffs, but, you know, you stay alive. And I think, again, for the Blues, you may have wanted to just kind of sell the rest of the year, but they found themselves in the race. Here's McKinnon through center. Shot on is denied by Hofer, and he'll cover up. And there's the speed from Nathan McKinnon that we have been advertised plenty of times this year. Who will win? I'm thinking the Avalanche. Avalanche getting a chance to clinch that top seed in the Western Conference. I think they get the win tonight. They should win because they aren't in their Nordique jerseys. Yeah, usually that's how it works. They've been bad in their Nordique jerseys. Face off here in the St. Louis end. Parayko now on the right side, trying to clear it back to center. Nelson. Stolen back then by the Blues. Toropchenko. Cross-ice pass up then for Buchnevich. It's broken up by the Avalanche down low. Sam Malinsky carries it through center. He'll dump it down low into the St. Louis end. Parayko for McKinnon in front of Nelson. Pass is blocked. And now Parayko will take it through center. Buchnevich at the center line. Stolen back by McKinnon. Gets around Lundstrom. A shot saved there by Hofer. What a stop by Joel Hofer. And it's picked back up down low behind the net then. Blues trying to regroup. That is Theo Lindstein, rookie there for the Blues with the puck. Gives it up then for Jordan Kyrou. Intercepted by the Avalanche once again. Lehkonen, cross-ice pass. Stolen back by the Blues. Here's Dvorsky. Up to Kyrou. Pass is missed there. It slides back into the Colorado zone. Blackenberg off the boards for Kadri. 2-on-2 the other way. Lehkonen fighting for it with Tucker. Tucker will win the battle and plays it down low behind the St. Louis net. Tucker thrown to center. Kyrou, cross-ice pass. Here's Falcon all alone, and he fires it high. Huge chance there for Jonathan Drouin, who was acquired from the New York Islanders in the Braden Shen trade. For some reason, I thought that was Falk. I apologize for that. That was not Justin Falk. He is not even playing in this game, and neither is he even on the Blues anymore. You can tell I'm out of it, right? Like, this is not normally how I am. You can tell that I'm a little bit slow, and it's a little bit because I'm tired and I haven't streamed in a while. There's no excuse, but I apologize for that. Just give me a period. I'll get back into it. Holloway battling for it then with Kulak. Blues will come back and regroup in their own end. It's stolen back by Snuggerud, who will play it up then for Tucker. Tucker, pass over to Snuggerud. It's broken up then by the Avalanche. Kulak over to Drury. Intercepted by the Blues. Snuggerud still handling that puck. Good movement from Snuggerud. Shot on, denied by Blackwood. Rebounds in front and cleared back down low to the corner. Here's Kiviranta trying to backhand this one to center. He'll get it there. Now Ross Colton in the neutral zone will clear that one back into the St. Louis end. Snuggerud gets it back. Jimmy Snuggerud, 21 points in his last 22 games for the Blues. He's been a big part in why St. Louis has suddenly found themselves back in the playoff race. Here's Mailloux battling for it then. Taves will clear it to center. Now Bardakov will dump it down low into the St. Louis end. Hofer down low. Blues will clear it to center. Taves intercepted by St. Louis. Suter to Buchnevich, a shot. And that one goes wide. Up top, Broberg. Back down low to Jonathan Berggren. There's another waiver pickup. Here's Devon Taves now behind the net for Colorado. Taves drops it back. Played up top then to Bardakov. Bardakov will regroup in his own end as Colorado looking for another game plan here. 13:20 left to go in this first period. We are still scoreless, but there's been plenty of chances for both sides. Here's Parayko trying to backhand that one down low. Montour battling for it. Natchez is trying to get there as well. Montour throws it up top. Kulak over then for McKinnon down low. Parayko will clear it to center. Here come the Blues the other way. Toropchenko, one-on-one, gets around Burns in front. And broken up there is Brent Burns with a good play there on the stick. And St. Louis takes it back into their own end. Parayko, back over to Buchnevich. Stolen back then down low by Finley, who backhands it behind the net for Toropchenko. Battling for it still with Kulak. And stolen back by Nathan McKinnon. McKinnon with speed. Trying to get around Tucker. Still has the puck down low. He's knocked down to the ground. Stolen back by the Avalanche. Natchez up top. Shot from Kulak goes up above Hofer and stolen back by the Blues, who will get it to center. Tucker brings it through the neutral zone back to Kyrou. Kyrou shoots it and that one goes wide as well. Dvorsky chips it up top. Shot on deflects down low then into the corner. Now Dvorsky back over then for Finley, and it's intercepted by the Avalanche. Sorry, guys, kind of struggling a little bit here. Let me get acclimated back into it. Natchez back over to Nelson. Nelson tries firing it on over. It's blocked. He still has the puck, though. Up top to Blackenberg. Blackenberg will fire it back behind the St. Louis net. Fowler battling for it then with Nelson. Tucker is there as well. In front, Kadri, a backhand. He fell down to the ground and could not get a clear shot on. Dvorsky trying to get it out of the St. Louis zone. Kadri steals it right back. Up top to Landeskog. Landeskog down low then for Nelson. Stolen back by the Blues. Tucker banks it off the boards and all the way back to the neutral zone. Blackenberg takes it back for the Avalanche. Poke check down low into the St. Louis end. Hofer off the boards then for Holloway. Dylan Holloway battling for that puck. Tucker clears it off the boards then to Snuggerud. It's a lot of neutral zone hockey. We're seeing a lot of these teams battle back and forth. Down low now, here's Holloway. Holloway at the point then for the Blues. He's cycling that puck really well. Snuggerud battling for it in the corner. Avalanche take it back. Ross Colton behind the net for the Avs. Colton up top to Malinsky. Malinsky will clear to center. Kiviranta battling for it then with Broberg. Broberg back then for Mailloux. Chipped up top then, shot on deflected. Colton a shot. He scores! From out of the air, Ross Colton, what a chance and what a goal. He hit that with his stick in the air, and the Avalanche take the 1-0 lead. That was expected. Ross Colton gets the Avalanche on the board. It's his 10th goal of the season. And that's a nice play in front. I mean, the puck's in the air. You only get one chance at that. That takes a lot of skill. And Ross Colton from in the air, it's going to be a good goal. It's not above the post of your shoulders at all. And the Avalanche have taken a 1-0 lead. And what a play this was. And St. Louis is challenging. Yeah, this is coming back. They are challenging for an offsides, and this is clear as day. This is going to come back. So it's a shame that a goal that nice is going to come back, but St. Louis uses the coach's challenge to their advantage, and yeah, this is clear as day. This should come back. I would be shocked if it doesn't. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Also, like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. The referees are looking at this one here. I don't think this is gonna be a good goal. This is probably gonna come back. It's pretty clear as day it's an offsides, but we'll see what the call is officially. The Avalanche player is fully across the goal line prior to the puck crossing, at least from the angle that I saw. So I would imagine this probably comes back. I don't know. Yeah. All right, let's see the call. Yep, no goal. It's a shame there for Ross Colton because that was a nice goal, but sadly that's a part of the game. Sometimes things get called back, and again, it is a game of inches, and I mean, there's really no arguing it. You're offsides. Like, it's not like, you know, it's goalie interference where you can argue there's some gray area or whatever. This is clear as day. You're offsides. It doesn't count. Good challenge there by St. Louis. Again, the Blues are, you're not just going to give up on your season. Obviously, again, they sold at the trade deadline. They traded away their captain. They traded away their top defenseman and Justin Falk, who apparently I thought for some reason was still in this game. But you're not going to give up. You're not just going to, fold midway through the year. Got to keep on the pressure. And they're only 5 points back with a game in hand. If they do win this game, they'll be 3 points back. But obviously, again, the odds are not in their favor. Puck is cleared back into the St. Louis zone. Parayko up top then. And he'll move it through center. Parayko over to Neighbors. Jake Neighbors, cross-ice pass, and Berggren could not get the shot on. Berggren at the top of the circle, fires it wide. Now Parayko down low in the corner, battling for it then with Kiviranta. Now Parayko being held up against the corner, trying to get that one free. Down low, Jonathan Berggren. Berggren will end up throwing this one back into the St. Louis end. Theo Lindstein will get that one back for the Blues. Lindstein up ahead then and cleared into the Avalanche zone. Battling forward in the corner then Finley. Back over to Toropchenko in front. Buchnevich a chance. And they jabbed at that puck, but they couldn't get it past Blackwood. Through center then. Ahead for O'Connor. Logan O'Connor fighting then with Tucker. Played his brother on Wednesday. Here's Bardakov into the zone. Tried to throw a backhand on. It was blocked. Buchnevich up top to Toropchenko. Toropchenko trying to skate it in. He'll battle for it down low in the corner. Grab back by O'Connor. O'Connor back over then for Bardakov. Kelly tried to get it back. It's stolen by the Avalanche. Blackenberg. Pass all the way up top then to O'Connor. O'Connor battling for it then. He'll backhand it down low into the St. Louis end. We are halfway through this opening period. A little bit more than that. It is still a scoreless hockey game here. We thought we had one with Colton, but it was offsides. Into the zone then McKinnon could not get that puck as it deflected off the glass. Now Kyrou to center. It's stolen back by the Avalanche. Kind of a net front battle here for that puck. McKinnon back down low then for Malinsky. McKinnon tried to carry it through center. It's stolen back down low by Devon Toews. Shots are dead even here in this first period. A lot of just neutral zone hockey. Natchez down low to Lehkonen. Lehkonen in the corner, throws it back to the goal line. Burns trying to throw a pass up to McKinnon, and it goes all the way back into the Colorado zone. Happy Easter, Rock and Roar. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, though. No problem. Just appreciate you coming in, man. Here's Burns down the right side up top to Kadri. Stolen back then by the Blues. What a move there by Holloway. Here he comes. 2-on-1 Holloway. Pass over to Thomas. A chance. Now Snuggerud a shot. Save. Rebounds in front. And cleared away. Another chance. Denied. Kept in the zone. No, Thomas a drive. He scores. Never back down. Never give up. Robert Thomas answers back, and it's 1-0 Blues. What an effort by that line. Holloway with a great move in front. They had 3 or 4 shots on that sequence. And just chance after chance after chance. Blackwood could not give up. And Robert Thomas converts. It is a 1-0 lead for the Blues here in this opening period. Robert Thomas, his 19th goal of the season. It's off a nice pass from Jimmy Snuggerud, and they might look at this one too. This might not be a good goal either. Oh, that's close. No, they're not challenging it. Still 1-0 lead for the Blues. It was a close offsides, but not enough. Yeah, Blackwood's in net for the Avs. Down low in the corner then with that puck. Finley. Down low with Drouin, who tried to battle forward as well. Stolen back to Malinsky. Chipped off the boards. And now through center, the Avalanche take it. Landeskog for Kadri. Back down low then into the Blues zone. Fowler banks the puck off the boards. Tucker trying to play it free. It goes off the netting. And a whistle is blown dead with 7:29 to go in this opening period. Not a lot of whistles. We'll finally get our first commercial break. Robert Thomas off of a hell of an effort from the Blues. And it is a 1-0 lead for St. Louis here in this first period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the commentary. Be sure to vote in the poll as well. I will end that following the conclusion of the first period. Let's take a look at the status report here involving these two teams. It's short and sweet. Toropchenko and Buchnevich, who missed the Blues' 6-2 win against the Ducks on Friday, returned to the lineup on the fourth line. The Avalanche did not hold a morning skate, so there you go. Obviously, again, there's only a handful of changes here. Toropchenko obviously back in the lineup along with Buchnevich. The Blues coming off of a 5-2 win over the Anaheim Ducks. They're staying alive just barely in the playoff race. And again, we'll see if they make it, but again, they're staying alive. Scratch players in this game. St. Louis has Justin Hall, Nathan Walker, Matthew Kessel, Oscar Sundquist, and Otto Stenberg sitting out for tonight's game. And then the Avalanche only have one player sitting out, and I believe that is... Maybe they don't actually. Hang on. Because I'm pretty sure Bardakov's in this game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bardakov's in the game. Sometimes these NHL reports are not correct. It doesn't look like they're not rolling with 6D, so I guess something's wrong. The Avalanche do not have any scratch players tonight. So there you go. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit off. Thank you, Aiden. I appreciate it. A little bit off with my commentary tonight. Kind of struggling a little bit, but that's okay. It's been a while since I've commentated hockey here on the channel. Since Wednesday. I'm also a little bit tired, too. Not going to lie. There's Eric Johnson. 2022 Stanley Cup champion with the Avalanche. What a guy Eric Johnson is. Good hockey player. Even better person. Face-off here in the St. Louis zone is a tie-up. It's won back by the Blues. It's cleared to center then by Parayko. Toropchenko battling forward then with Blackenberg. Thank you, Aiden and Emmeline. I appreciate it. Here's Landeskog. 1-on-2. Tries to take it down the right side. Battling forward then with Fowler. Shots are 6-3 in favor of St. Louis. Battling forward in the corner then. Tucker gets it back down low to Fowler. Fowler through center then to Toropchenko. Played back down low then into the Avalanche zone. Burns. All the way up top for Blackenberg. Blackenberg to Landeskog, trying to poke check it ahead. Down low then, Fowler knocks him to the ground. Blues will get it back to center and regroup. Just say, Aiden, all right. Here's Bardakov into the zone, back over to McKinnon. McKinnon up top to Lehkonen, a shot. He fanned on that puck. Blues take it back the other way. Kyrou just simply dumps it down low into the Avalanche end. Blackwood for Manson. Manson off the boards then to Lehkonen. Stolen back then by the Blues. Down low, Broberg trying to poke check it away. Avalanche attempting to keep that puck in the zone. Bergeron cleared it off the boards back into the Colorado zone. This will be an icing with 6:09 to go. And we're going to see, probably since we went about 13 minutes without a commercial break, I imagine we're going to see a couple of commercial breaks here in these last couple of minutes. But regardless of that, there you go. We will be live again on Tuesday. Anaheim Ducks versus Nashville Predators. I knew I needed to get a Nashville Predators stream back in before the playoffs. Here's Colton, a shot. That one goes wide. Kiviranta up top. Malinsky trying to keep that one in the zone. Backhanded out then by the Blues. Tays off the boards to Drury. Drury comes in. Throws it back behind the net. Malinsky trying to poke check it away. Tays down low then for Colton, a shot. Saved there by Hofer. Blues will clear to center. Holloway backhands it around Tays. Grabbed back then by Malinsky down low. Off the boards to Drury. Battling for it then at center. Avalanche get it back now. They'll regroup it in their own end. It's Malinsky back over to Tays. Devon Tays now looking for options. It's dumped back into the St. Louis zone. Hofer off the boards to Parayko. Parayko cleared all the way back into the Avalanche zone. This one will not be an icing as Burns grabs it back for the Avalanche, battling for it alongside Snuggerud. Bardakov to Kelly in center. Dumped down low then into the St. Louis zone. Toropchenko as Hofer got ran into there a little bit by Kelly. He stays up on his 2 feet despite kind of juggling there a little bit. Burns fires it on, deflected in front, they score! 4:50 left to go in this opening period, and the Avalanche have tied the game. I believe Parker Kelly got a piece in front. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. We will be live during the playoffs for a lot of the commentaries, but thank you. I feel like I'm struggling a little bit, but it's all good. Parker Kelly, his 20th goal of the year, a 20-goal season for Parker Kelly. Got to be happy with that if you're the Avalanche. And they have tied the hockey game here. And it's off of a shot from up top. Brent Burns will get an assist. Logan O'Connor will get an assist as well. And we have a tied hockey game here in Ball Arena. Parker Kelly has 5 goals in his last 7 games. He adds on a tally onto that. And the Avalanche have tied the game. St. Louis will dump it down low. It's an offsides against the Blues. Trying to update some stuff here, guys. I haven't actually been at home for a while. Haven't been at home since Wednesday night. Head to commercial break here. We are still tied at 1. Oh. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Also like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. It is the last of 2 commentaries this week. Sadly, with the way the schedule is, I can only do 2 commentaries, but you guys are showing up for them. I appreciate it. There will be 6 commentaries on 6 commentaries this week. We will have 1 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and then 1 next Sunday as well. And we're getting really close to the end of the regular season. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more commentary streams in the regular season before we hop into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So we're getting ready for it. It's coming up, and I'm very excited to see what we're going to be able to do. We've made a lot of good strides here this season, a lot more commentaries than years prior, and I'm looking forward to these playoffs. We've got Avalanche fans and Blues fans in the chat. It's awesome to see. We welcome all fans of all 32 teams here into the live commentaries. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And stick around. We built a great community here, just live streaming any kind of hockey game. It's so much fun. All 32 teams we've had a great turnout for this year. It's been incredible. .445 left to go here in this opening period. Robert Thomas and Parker Kelly with the goals. We are tied at 1. Face-off coming here now outside of the Colorado zone. It's won back by the Blues. Holloway over to Parayko. Parayko will dump it down low into the Avalanche end. Manson off the boards then. Blackenberg cross-ice pass to center. Kadri battling forward then with Nelson. Kadri shoots it off of Hofer and back down low behind the net. Here's Parayko now through center. Up to Neighbors. Neighbors back down low then for Manson. Josh Manson over then for Blackenberg. Up top to Kadri. Can't complete the pass. It slides back into the St. Louis end. Parayko. Back over then for Lindstein. Stolen back by the Avalanche. Landeskog to Manson, who dumps it down low. It's blown dead for an offsides against the Avs. Shots are even at 6 apiece. Do we have a potential playoff schedule yet? I gotta wait for the official drop. But we will be live that first 2 weeks of the playoffs. We will be live every single day. So from April 18th, I believe, to the following Sunday, two Sundays later, we'll be live every day, all playoffs. I don't know yet. I need to schedule, but we're gonna be live for a lot of the playoffs, a lot more than last year. Here's Kyrou coming in, fires it on, it's blocked. Grab back down low then by Dylan Holloway. On the right side, Thomas. Robert Thomas, cross-ice pass. It's stolen back then by the Avalanche. McKinnon will clear it down low, back over for Snuggerud. Snuggerud stolen back by Malinsky. Malinsky for Lehkonen. Lehkonen to McKinnon. McKinnon up top to Natchez, trying to move it past the center. Back up top, Blackenberg comes in, fires it, gloved by Hofer, and that was a nice save there by Joel Hofer, who's had a really good year. I don't think people realize how good of a season Joel Hofer has had. And I mean, again, we knew that Hofer was going to, improve. He's a young goaltender. He's had good stats before. He's had a pretty good year despite the struggles in St. Louis, that's for sure. So 3.5 minutes to go in this first period. Couple commercial breaks here before we end off this period. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Again, subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the commentary. We've already gained 6 subs in this stream. We passed 5,500 last commentary on Wednesday. So thank you all so much for that. It's really appreciated. We've had a great couple of months here on the channel. We've gained so many new subscribers, so many new people joining this community. It's awesome. The playoffs are going to be incredible. I am so excited. Blackenberg had the shot, yep. Wedgie is better than Blackie. Yeah, Wedgwood's been really good. Nathan McKinnon scored 50 goals in the last home game for the Avalanche. It was an 8-6 loss for the Canucks. Or against the Canucks. Nathan McKinnon joins Michel Goulet and Joe Sakic for multiple 50-goal seasons in Avalanche/Nordiques history. McKinnon's been on an incredible run as of late, and I expect nothing less here down the stretch and heading towards the playoffs. Faceoff coming up in the St. Louis zone. It's won back then by the Blues. Berggren off the boards to Buchnevich. Stolen back then by Nelson. Nelson trying to play it through center, then back off the boards. And cleared back into the Avalanche zone. Malinsky grabs that puck back for the Blues. Malinsky behind the net. Played ahead then through center. Natchez carries it in down low. Stolen back then by Broberg. 3 minutes to go here in this opening period. Broberg to Mailloux. Back over then to McKinnon. Pass down low. Broken up by Natchez. Up top then Malinsky trying to poke check it ahead. And it goes back into the St. Louis bench. As the puck was deflected there. And again, you take a look at the playoff standings here. Again, the Avalanche obviously first place in that Central Division. If they win tonight, they can clinch the Central and clinch the West if they get a win here tonight. So there's a little bit on the line for this one tonight for both sides. We've mentioned it a couple of times tonight, but it'll definitely be interesting. Face-off coming up here now in the St. Louis end. It's won back by the Avalanche. Burns to Blackenberg. A shot goes wide. Kadri down low behind the net. Back over to Landeskog. Landeskog looks for options. Battling for it then with Fowler. Kadri fighting then with Dvorsky. Trying to get it free. Dvorsky over then for Tyler Tucker. Who banks it off the boards then for Cairo. And a breakaway. A shot save there by Blackwood. Good opportunity there is denied. Thrown back to center. Fowler. Off the boards then for Dvorsky. Shots are 9-7 in favor of St. Louis. Fowler comes in, looks for options, takes it around then behind the net. Fowler pass up to the point. Shot there from Drew and is tipped and back down low to the corner. Dvorsky over then for Kadri. Kadri chipped off the boards to center. Landeskog trying to get it back. He'll backhand it down low. Now Fowler takes it back for the Blues. Cam Fowler looking for options. Less than 2 minutes to go here in this opening period. Down the right side, Holloway with speed. Comes in, can't get a clear shot on goal. Pass is broken up there. Now Lindstein. Up top, Snuggerud backhands it behind the net. Drury. Back over then for Holloway. Manson. Below the line for the Avalanche. Snuggerud. Cross-ice pass to Holloway is broken up then by Colorado. Here they come now through center. Colton. Fighting forward then with Parayko. Taken back then by the Blues. Lindstein. Up to Thomas. 3-on-3 the other way. Snuggerud shoots it. Saved there by Blackwood. Clear back down low into the corner then. Holloway battling for that puck. Manson's there as well. Approaching the final minute of play in this opening period. Colton. Trying to get it free. Fighting forward then with Parayko. Colton back up to Kulak. It goes off his skate and down low into the St. Louis end with 50 seconds to go. Shots are 9-7 in favor of the Blues. Forgot to update that. My apologies. Puck will slide wide of Blackwood. Now Tays battling forward with Neighbors. Neighbors gets the puck. Pass down low to Suter. And it's broken up there by Nelson. Suter down low in the corner fighting with Tays. McKinnon trying to get it up top. Malinsky. Back over to McKinnon. Nelson battling forward as well. Intercepted then by the Blues. Suter chipped off the boards and back down low into the St. Louis end. Natchez at the point. Thrown back over then for McKinnon. McKinnon trying to get around Buchnevich. He's broken up there. McKinnon gets it back. Up top. Malinsky a shot. Saved there by Hofer. Rebound is blown dead. And we have a penalty coming up with 11 seconds to go in this opening period. It is on the Blues off of, I believe, a high sticking call on Nathan McKinnon. So we will get a Colorado power play that will carry over into the second period as well. If there's obviously no goal scored in the final 15 seconds of this one. And yeah, good movement there by the Avalanche trying to set up. Malinsky had a good chance, but Hofer has been solid so far. Shots are 9-8. We're going to get an Avalanche power play here. So again, it will be for the last 11 seconds of this opening period, and then it will carry over into the second period as well. Face-off now in the St. Louis end. It's Nelson taking the draw against Finley. Face-off won by the Avalanche. Down low, Fowler steals it back for the Blues. He will clear it back into the Colorado zone, and that should pretty much do it for the opening period. 20 minutes are in the books here, and 2 goals from Robert Thomas and Parker Kelly make it a 1-1 hockey game after 20 minutes of play here in Colorado. That being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack, go get a drink, do what you got to do. We will be back for the start of period number 2 momentarily. This is the countdown to the second. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. We are a little bit over 80 subscribers away from 5,600. We are still pushing for those goals, and I appreciate all your guys' support. Yeah, you guys cannot win when you guys wear those Nordique jerseys. I agree. And they're very nice jerseys, too. They're very nice jerseys, but unfortunately, whatever. Sometimes that's how it is, though. I think when Boston was wearing their Centennials, they were struggling in those as well. So it's definitely not just a thing that only the Avalanche have. It's kind of a curse with some jerseys. 51 votes on our poll. Thank you all so much for that. 65% of you voted that the Avalanche will win the game over the Blues. So there you go. Poll has ended. 51 total votes. That is awesome. And you all think the Avalanche will take this one? I don't know. I think St. Louis looked good in that period. Shots through 20 were 11-8 in favor of the Blues. So St. Louis got more of the pressure on, but regardless of that, still a good game, regardless from both sides. Yep, more Avs votes. I forgot to mention this off rip, but let's take a look at these guys' goalie stats here. Joel Hofer, this is his 5th live commentary and Watch with Nordic History. He's 2-2 in 4 previous ones. It's a 2.25 and a .915. As for Mackenzie Blackwood, this is his 11th commentary. He is 7-3 in 10 previous live streams. He has a 2.3 goals against average and a .910 save percentage with the Avalanche as well. So that's just me being a nerd there. There you go. If you guys have any questions, be sure to comment them in the comment section down below. We got about 15 minutes here till the start of period number 2. Until then, I'm going to kind of keep quiet a little bit. I got family sleeping in the other room. I'm trying not to be as loud as you can tell. So I'll try and keep it quiet. But if you guys have any questions, comment them down below. Add these stats into the all-time score sheet. Again, 2 goals in that first period. They were scored by Robert Thomas and Parker Kelly. Really one of 2001 Avs champions had. They look so nice. I have a 2022 one. I have one from 2022. Why do I keep putting in the wrong numbers? What am I doing? So I guess that's cool. Yeah, I have a 2022 one. Oh my God, Tom Wilson's doing a haircut ad. Oh my God. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Stick around. Comment anything you guys want to talk about in the comment section down below. Parker Kelly, that was his first goal in a live commentary stream. All right. There we go. All right. That is all updated and good. Have a McKinnon and Alex Tanguay. Wow, that is one hell of a pull. That is one hell of a pull. I don't have it out, but I have a Avalanche Sakic jersey. I also have a Tarasenko Winter Classic and home jersey from a couple of years ago. Not their new logo. And I have one more. I have a TJ Oshie one too. TJ Oshie St. Louis jersey as well. So yeah, I got plenty of jerseys. I don't really collect jerseys anymore, actually. It's been a while. I just really don't have the money to do it, or like I really don't have any jerseys that I would really want, to be honest. Because I don't really wear them that much anymore. Like, I don't really wear them anymore. Honestly, I don't. And that's just me. Like, I just don't wear jerseys anymore. I used to wear them a lot during the earlier days of the channel, but now I kind of just wear, t-shirts and stuff like that. But that's just me. That's just me. Parker Kelly, 20 goals on the year is nuts. What a season he's had. It's awesome. What did, for those who watched the Inside Out Classic, what did you guys think about that? If there's anybody who watched it. or if you just watch the actual game itself. What did you guys think of that? What's funny is that they put it on they only put it on ESPN Plus. How are people supposed to watch it if it's on ESPN Plus only? It looks so goofy though. I'm looking at this. This looks so goofy. But I guess that's what it's supposed to be. It was all right. I thought it was okay. Wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen. Subban made a joke with Will Cooley, who scored a hat trick, and Cooley's not having any of it. He's like, yeah, I just hate my life. All right, got about 10 minutes here to the start of the second period. When do I do the live streams? Any day of the week. Generally, when I can do them, I'll do them. Whether it's Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, I do them as much as I can when I can. This week we have 6 commentaries coming up. We're off tomorrow. Tomorrow I have my actual job. Tuesday I'm doing 1 commentary. Wednesday I'm doing 2. Thursday I'm doing 2 as well, and then I'm off Friday and Saturday. Sunday I'll be doing 1 on Sunday night. So yeah. I should mention this too. We're only going to be doing commentaries during the playoffs when I don't have the Royals. So there will be some days where I'm going to have the Royals and I can't commentate games, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is. I do work for the Reading Royals, the ECHL team. Should mention that. I bring up the Royals, you're like, what, the Kansas City Royals? Nah, the Reading Royals. ECHL, affiliate of the Flyers. I do some commentary work for them. All right. All right, got about 6 minutes till the start of period number 2. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Thank you all for tuning in. Not talking as much during these intermissions. I have family sleeping in the other room, so trying to be a little bit quieter for them a little bit. Firing him with 4 games left is nuts. Still can't get over that earlier today. There's like 4 games left in the year, you fire your head coach. Nuts. Islanders remaining schedule. Maple Leafs, Senators, Canadiens, Hurricanes. Those are big games. Got about 4 minutes to go here until the start of the second. Getting 2 goals from Robert Thomas and Parker Kelly. Make it even after 20 minutes of play. Avalanche, we got a minute 48 of power play time in the second. Always been very critical of power plays that happen at the start of a period. I've never been a big fan of them in terms of just like it's hard to keep the momentum up with a power play and all that. Especially when it's spread out over 2 periods. It's hard to get into the offensive zone. By then, there's maybe like 10 seconds already wiped off at the minimum. Never been a big fan of that, to be honest. Anybody baseball fans in here? I'm a big Phillies guy. Alrighty, everyone, let's get ready for the start of period number 2 between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. First period recap, goals were scored by Robert Thomas and Parker Kelly here after 20 minutes of play, getting ready for period number 2. Your stats through 20, shots are 11-8 in favor of St. Louis, face-off percentage is 60% in favor of the Blues. Power plays are 0 for 0 so far for both teams. Obviously, the Berggren hook on McKinnon is still to be decided. Hits are 7-6 in favor of the Avalanche, and block shots are 3-0 in favor of the Avalanche. No block shots yet for the Blues. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. I'm going to plug in my phone here really quick. Forgot to do that off rip. Again, it's 2 big points on the line. Both these teams could use these points. And for both these teams to come out and play the way they have, we know we're already getting a pretty entertaining game here. And we are underway for period number 2 for the second straight period. I forget to set my clock. And we are underway. Devon Toews picks up the puck back over then for Natchez. Avalanche got a minute 40 of power play time. McKinnon carries it into the St. Louis zone. Up top then to Natchez. Natchez back down low then McKinnon. McKinnon to Natchez. Back over to Natchez then McKinnon in front. Jabbing at that puck through his legs. Tried to give it back to Kadri, and the puck is cleared all the way back into the Avalanche zone. Toews behind the net then for the Avs. Toews will drop it back to Natchez. Halfway through the power play, Natchez over then for McKinnon. McKinnon up top to Nelson. Nelson to Natchez, who can't keep it in the zone. Puck will slide all the way back into the Avalanche end. Blackwood over then for Natchez. Played back over to Devon Toews. Toews to Natchez. Up top to Kadri, who tries to dump it down low. It's grabbed back then by the Blues. Fowler battling forward with Natchez. Grabbed back by Toropchenko. Puts it through his legs. Kadri trying to clear it out of the zone. And the Blues get it out successfully as it slides back into the Avalanche end. Here's Devon Toews behind the net. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Toews to McKinnon. McKinnon circles around up top to Lehkonen. Lehkonen to McKinnon. McKinnon to Burns. Burns to McKinnon. McKinnon in front. Lehkonen a chance. That one is blocked. And Thomas clears it off the boards. And back to center. 5 seconds to go. That'll pretty much do it for the Avalanche power play. And that's an example of why I'm not a huge fan of power plays that carry over into another period. Sometimes it's hard to keep the momentum up. And there's an example of that. Here's Malinsky now down the right side for Colton, who tries to bank it down low. Malinsky up top to Colton. A shot goes in on Hofer, who makes the save. That is the 9th shot of the game for the Avalanche. Both goalies have played well, regardless of what their save percentages say. And you look at said save percentages so far. We'll start off with St. Louis's end. Hofer has made 8 saves on 9 shots, has an 889 save percentage. Blackwood's made 10 saves on 11 shots, 909. Face-off in the Avalanche zone, won by the Blues. They bank it back down low to the Avalanche end. Neighbors battling forward then with Kulak. Grab back behind the net then by Kiviranta. Kelly will get it to center. Cross-ice pass then for Kiviranta's broken up. Down low now, Kulak will dump it into the St. Louis end. Parayko battling for it behind the net with Kiviranta. Suter will backhand it down low. Kulak gets it back. Over then for Suter behind the net. Neighbors clears back to center. Berggren fighting then with Manson in the corner. Stolen back by the Avalanche, who carry it down the other way. Drury will dump it into the St. Louis end. Tucker in the Blues zone, regrouping with that puck. Back over then for Cam Fowler. Fowler through center, will dump it down low into the Avalanche end. Pass up then to Kadri, trying to get around Tucker, who battles for that puck. Now Dvorsky dumps it down low into the Avalanche zone. Avalanche will get it there first. Kulak behind the net. Will bank it to center. Landeskog poke checks it ahead. Tucker battling for it down low. Landeskog up top then to Burns, who clears it back around behind the net there with Hofer. Now Blackenberg back over to Nelson. Nelson to Blackenberg. Blackenberg over to Burns. A shot. He scores! Brent Burns from the point. And I don't believe anybody tipped that in front. That's the second point of the game for Burns. And the Avalanche take a 2-1 lead. (1,001) consecutive games played. And Brent Burns gets on the board, assisted by Blackenberg and Nelson. And it is a 2-1 lead for the Avalanche here in this second period. The seasoned veteran, Brent Burns, puts the Avs on top. That's his second point of the night. He had an assist on the Kelly goal. And that is his 12th goal of the year, his first in a Watch with Nordic live commentary. St. Louis gets it back down low now in their own zone, battling for it down low. Banked off the boards, Lindstein trying to get it to center. Avs trying to play it ahead. Here's McKinnon, gets it all alone, denied by Hofer. What a stop. Who do I think will win? I think the Avalanche will win. Snuggerud over to Holloway. Cross ice pass. Thomas a shot. He scores. Robert Thomas answers right back, and we are tied at 2. His second goal of the night, and that was an easy pass over. And Mackenzie Blackwood's struggles continue, but we are tied once again. That did not take long. And it comes off of that big save from Hofer on Nathan McKinnon. Then the Blues skate right down the other way. Assist on this goal are Holloway and Snuggerud. Basically the exact same goal we just saw in that opening period. And we are tied at 2 apiece here in the second. Face-off one back by the Blues. Then Parayko trying to clear it through center. That is Thomas's 4th multi-goal game this season. Kelly battling for it down low. Finley off the boards to Toropchenko. Manson trying to get it free back over to Kulak. Up top then, Avalanche will clear it back into the St. Louis end. Now Snuggerud. Over then Kulak. Up top Manson. Deeks in. Can't get a shot on. Kelly. Down low behind the net then for the Avalanche. Toropchenko battling forward as well. O'Connor up top. Manson a shot. Into the glove of Hofer. Plenty of shots for both teams. They are 12 apiece. And we are tied at 2 here in this second period. And we have a good hockey game here, folks. Robert Thomas, 2 goals tonight. 2 points. Snuggerud and Holloway, 2 points as well. And Brent Burns, goal and an assist. Here's Parayko. Back over then for Neighbors, battling for it on the right side. Kiviranta trying to clear. Grab back then by Drury. A backhanded off the boards by Colton. Down low now behind the net, Binnington. Over for Fowler. Fowler up ahead then for Parayko, who will dump it into the Avalanche zone. Brent Burns back down low then for Blackenberg. Over for Ross Colton. Cleared to center then. Berggren battling for that puck. He'll chip it off the boards then to Suter. P.S. Suter banks it back down low. Burns battling forward as well. Brent Burns gets it back. It's chipped off the boards then for Kiviranta. Now Drury battling forward with Broberg. Broberg off the boards for Neighbors. Neighbors will dump it down low then into the Colorado zone. Now Kyrou. Back over to Dvorsky. Tays battling forward as well. Chipped off the boards then now below the line Druin. Up top, Dvorsky, intercepted then by the Avalanche, who will get it to center. Now Devon Tays with speed. Tays drops back, Colton a shot, and it's blocked. Broberg. Try to clear it to center. Taves trying to keep that one in as well. Dvorsky steals it back. Ahead then 2-on-1. Here's in the zone is Drew and a backhand on. Save there by Blackwood on a 1-0 breakaway chance set up by Jordan Kyrou. But Blackwood makes the save. And I press pause on my clock and it says, nah, I don't want to pause. Good chance there from Druin. 2 goals in this second period already. We are still tied at 2 here in Colorado. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. I'm going to make that Brent Burns goal into a commentary clip. Got to wait a little bit, though. So Robert Thomas with 2 goals tonight. We'll see if we get that third one. There hasn't been a hat trick scored in a while in a live commentary, not since January. We did not have a hat trick at all in February or March here on the channel during a live commentary, so it's been a while. It was Brock Nelson, ironically enough, who got that goal. Commentary records for these two teams. Avalanche, this is their 16th live commentary. They are 10-4-1 in 15 previous. This is the Blues' 13th commentary. They are 6-6 in 12 previous ones. Who do I think will win, Colorado or St. Louis? I'm sticking with the Avalanche still. 2 big points in the line for the Avs. I think they want them. But the Blues are playing well regardless of that. They're still playing a good game here tonight. That should not be missed. Most goals by a D-man in NHL history. Brent Burns has passed Bobby Orr. Ain't that a name to pass for, I believe, what is that, 7th? Most goals by an NHL defenseman in a career. Face-off in the Avalanche zone is won back by the Blues. Shot on is blocked as it slides all the way back up to the point. Cleared away there by Landeskog. Blues are keeping on the pressure. Fowler. Up top then for Berggren, who dumps it down low into the Colorado end. Now Manson gets it back for the Avs. Manson through center. Nelson looks for options. Thrown back away then. Kulak off the boards for Manson. Back down low. Will backhand it into the St. Louis end. Hofer. Back off then for Mailloux. Mailloux battling for it then with Landeskog. Now Fowler. Down low in the corner, trying to backhand this one off the boards. Up to center then. Holloway with the outlet pass. He'll get around Manson. Comes right into the zone. Broken up there by Kulak. And taken back by Manson behind the net. Shots are 13-12 in favor of the Blues. Manson with the puck. Back over then for Natchez, who carries it through center. Off the boards for Lehkonen. He'll battle for it then with Lindstein. Now McKinnon will backhand it around behind the net. Malinsky tries to fire a shot on its block. Blues trying to get out of their own zone. Malinsky gains it back, throws it to McKinnon, intercepted then by the Blues. Parayko chipped back into the audience, and the whistle's blown dead with 12:30 to go. Sam Malinsky having to step up with the absence of Cale Makar, who has been out for 2 or 3 games here now, as the Avalanche looking to clinch the Central Division spot in the Western Conference #1 seed. Malinsky really stepped up to the plate, 37 points this year. Face-off one back then by the Blues. Lindstein off the boards then for Neighbors, who will dump it into the Avalanche zone. Blackwood chipped off the boards, kept in the zone then by the Blues. Suter behind the net then for Berggren. Berggren down low here in the corner. Jonathan Berggren battling for that puck, trying to get it free alongside Suter and Malinsky. Now Taves off the boards to Natchez. Cross ice pass to center. McKinnon battling for it then on the right side. McKinnon trying to carry it down low. Back up then for Parayko. Parayko then for Berggren, comes in, fires it wide, and he takes the net off in the process, and a whistle is blown. Hopefully Berggren's okay. He was slow to get up after that sequence. Hopefully he's all right. And yeah, Berggren shot that puck wide. He got a little bit interfered with there by Burns, ran into the net. He was slow to get up. He was picked off waivers by the Blues from the Red Wings, I believe. He's been there the entire year. Why did I unplug my phone? Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the commentary. Face off here now in the Colorado zone. And it's blown dead due to a face-off violation. We will try again. We have crossed over the 1,000 view mark on this commentary stream. Thank you all so much for that. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Face-off here now in the Colorado zone. It's one back by the Avalanche. Burns off the boards then all the way back into the St. Louis zone. Broberg back for Hofer. Philip Broberg now will carry this one through center back over to Tucker. Tucker off the boards, intercepted then by the Avalanche. Bardakov for O'Connor. O'Connor trying to throw it up to the point then. Gets tied up by the rookie Snuggerud. Kelly intercepted by the Blues. Chipped off the boards then by Snuggerud. 2-on-1 the other way. Snuggerud with Holloway. Snuggerud comes in. Pass over. Broken up by Burns as he blocked that pass with his body. And Brent Burns not afraid to do that. He's done that plenty of times. Thomas up top. Fowler a shot. Saved by Blackwood. Rebounds there. Another chance is blocked through the traffic. Avalanche will try and clear to center. Thomas battling for it there as well. It's backhanded up and out of play. We have 60 people watching this commentary. Thank you all so much. Again, I'm being a little bit quieter because I have family sleeping in the other room, trying to be a little bit quiet for the sake of them. I'm normally a lot louder. Don't worry. Face off here in the Avalanche zone is one back by the Avs. Manson will try and clear it down the other way. Now Kelly back over then to Kiviranta, who loops it around up top. Kulak to Manson, a shot saved by Hofer through all the traffic. And the goalies, despite obviously again allowing 2 goals each tonight, they've played solid on the shots they've faced. Shots now 14-13 in favor of St. Louis. Face off here now in the St. Louis end. It'll be Finley against Drury. 10:43 left to go in this second period. Probably. Face-off is won then by the Avalanche. Kiviranta up top. Shoots it. It goes wide of Hofer. Down low then Toropchenko behind the net. Battling for with Malinsky. Drury trying to get it there as well. Up top then Manson. Cross-ice pass. Kulak a shot. Deflects up in the air and back down low to the corner. Drury. The point to Manson. Kulak trying to dump it down low. Drury back over then for Kelly. He'll fire it wide of Hofer. Now Kulak a shot. It's blocked. And cleared all the way back into the Avalanche zone. Both Blues goals have been scored by Thomas. They have both been scored by Robert Thomas. Kulak chipped off the boards back into the St. Louis end. Parayko. Cross-ice pass then for Lindstein, who carries it into the zone. Will dump it behind the net around Blackwood. Kulak back over to Landeskog. Thrown off the boards then for Manson, who carries it through center. He'll dump it down low into the Blues end. Hofer was out of his net there. Drury nearly had a wide open chance Now Druin carries it through center, intercepted then by the Blues. Dvorsky trying to get it free. Here's a 3-on-2 the other way. Kadri shoots it, saved by Hofer as he got it there with a glove. With 9:30 to go in period number 2. We are over halfway through the game and the period. 1,000 consecutive games played for Brent Burns. He was honored tonight. And we are still tied at 2. Blues money line? Not me, bro. I don't bet, that's why. I'm not a betting guy. Never really been big on it, not gonna lie. Never really been interested in betting, to be honest. All right. Let's go Blues. Still tied 2-2 here in period number 2 between the Avalanche and the Blues. The 2 goals have been scored by Robert Thomas on the Blues end, Parker Kelly and Brent Burns for the Avalanche. Blues have done a good job at keeping most of the Avalanche's top players off the score sheet. We'll see how long that lasts, of course. Obviously, as we have a whole other half of a game to be played here. Blues winning trust. We'll see, bro. Face off in the St. Louis end then is won back by the Blues. Snuggerud through center will dump it down low into the Avalanche end. Malinsky will clear this one to center. Here, one-on-one is Lehkonen with Mayu. Tries to feed a cross-ice pass, waiting for reinforcements. It's cleared back down low into the St. Louis end. Malinsky for McKinnon. McKinnon up top to Taze's shot. What a block by Holloway, who gets right back up and will carry it back down the other way. Cross-ice pass for Thomas, who's looking for his third. Will fire it back up top. Broberg at the point, then back over for Holloway. A shot on there is deflected down low to the corner. Taze off the boards then for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon for Natchez. Marty Natchez will backhand this one into the zone. McKinnon all alone, fires it, gloved by Hofer once again, who has had to make some big saves on the Nate Dog. There's definitely been plenty of that. Man, the chemistry between Natchez and McKinnon is unmatched. It's been awesome to see these two players converting on goals this year. It's been incredible. A lot of 1-on-0 breakaways, too, open chances, but Hofer's made the saves. He's done a really good job at keeping those guys limited. Face-off coming up here in the St. Louis end. It'll be Kelly taking the draw against Suter. Face-off here won by the Avalanche. Burns up top. Shoots it. It goes wide of Hofer. Berggren tries to get it to center. Colton dumps it around behind the net then. Hofer back over then to Falk. Right side for Neighbors, who will carry it through center. Pass over then for Tucker. Brings it into the zone alongside Berggren. Berggren pass in front. Neighbors a chance. Goes wide. Suter. Down low then for Neighbors. Neighbors looks for options now in the right circle. Feeds it up top. Tucker a shot. It's blocked. Fowler will bank it off the boards, then back down low. Avalanche battling for it. Berggren behind the net. Looks for options. Fires it on. And it goes up in the air back down low behind the net. Taken back then by the Avalanche. Kelly will clear it down low into the St. Louis end. And this one will be an icing as we have some physicality in the other end. Drury and Neighbors getting into it. Now Suter and Kelly as well. We forget this is a rivalry, right? There hasn't been a lot of that in this one so far. It's been more of just, playing the game. There hasn't been a lot of physicality, but we get some there. Kelly back in the game. Yes, Kelly is back in the game after getting into a fight as well. Shots are 16-15 here in favor of the Avalanche. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. We are about 80 subscribers away from 5,600. The referees are conglomerating here. We'll see if there's a penalty called. It doesn't look like there's going to be, or maybe? No, they're not calling anything at all. They were kind of fooling with me there, skating around the center ice circle. Anyway. Yeah, a little bit of physicality. Nothing new. Need one more point from Kelly. Well, good luck, bro. We'll see if he gets it. Face off at center then is won back by the Avalanche, who will dump it into the Blues end. Hofer off the boards to Parayko. Pass back to Toropchenko. Stolen back then by the Avalanche. Nelson up top then. Kulak a shot. It's blocked by Toropchenko. Kulak down low then for Landeskog. Battling for it then with Toropchenko trying to get it free. And a whistle blown dead as Toropchenko was tripped. And we will get a St. Louis power play here in this second period. That is absolutely huge for the Blues. They will get the man advantage as Kadri will head to the box. Blues random W incoming. We'll see, bro. If they score on this power play, you never know. Yeah, clear tripping call there on Nazem Kadri. We will see a St. Louis power play. Pretty easy call there for the referee. Face-off coming up here now in the Colorado zone. Drury versus Tays. Thomas with 2 goals tonight on 4 shots is out there taking the draw. Face-off one back then by the Avalanche. They will clear it off the boards, try and get out of the zone. Kelly will get it down into the St. Louis end. And that's how they start off their power play. Broberg drops it back for Holloway. Dylan Holloway now carries it through center. Off the boards, Thomas. Broken up then by Broberg. Philip Broberg now looking for options. He'll dump it down low into the Avalanche zone. Kelly fighting with Holloway. Back over then for Drury. Drury off the boards for Manson. Manson shorthanded. We'll dump it down low into the St. Louis end, just trying to run down time off the clock. It's a smart thing to do. Jake Neighbors now down the right side will play it back for Holloway. Dylan Holloway to Thomas. Neighbors to Thomas. Up top then for Snuggerud. Snuggerud as we approach the halfway mark of the power play. Thomas to Neighbors. Broken up then by the Avs, and Burns will clear down the other way. Here's Philip Broberg then behind the net for St. Louis. Broberg will carry it here now through center. Drops it back for Kyrou. Kyrou comes into the zone, intercepted then by Nelson, who will dump it back into the St. Louis zone. The Avalanche doing a great job at not giving St. Louis anything. Buchnevich to Berggren. Back to Buchnevich, up top Mailloux. To the point to Kyrou. Kyrou to Mailloux. Down low Berggren. Berggren trying to throw a pass in front. Broken up there by Tays. And Manson gets it and clears down the other way. Here's Buchnevich back to Berggren. Played back down low then into the corner. Kelly battling forward with Drouin. Down low Buchnevich. Taken back by Taze. Off the boards then for Drury, who will bring it through center. Power play is over. Disappointing for the Blues. Kadri has shut off the box. And wide of Hofer. Down low behind the net then Nelson trying to play the puck. Fowler carries it through center. Stolen back then by the Avalanche. Kulak off the boards. Kadri over then for Kelly. Banked off the boards. Up top then a shot from Kulak into the chest of Hofer. A little under 5 minutes to go here in period number 2. We are still tied. Blues are playing solid. Blues are playing all right, actually. They're staying with them. It's good to see. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the commentary. It'd be greatly appreciated. Pickleball on ESPN? I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. What's up, Richie? Welcome to the stream. It's tied 2-2 right now in the second period. Hope you guys are having a great Easter Sunday so far. We will have 6 live commentary streams on the channel this week. So be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss them. Shots are 17-15 in favor of the Avalanche. Here's Landeskog. Will take the draw against Finley in the St. Louis end. Face-off is won back by the Blues. Down low then Parayko. Off the boards then Buchnevich. 3-on-2. Finley comes in through the zone. Broken up then by the Avalanche. Pass in front is intercepted. Buchnevich down low in the corner. Landeskog off the boards battling for them with Parayko. Finley down low will dump it into the corner. Now Buchnevich gets it back for the Blues. Buchnevich to Fowler. Intercepted then by Colorado. Here they come the other way. 2-on-2. Landeskog with McKinnon. McKinnon gets around Buchnevich. Buchnevich down low in the corner. Up top, Blackenberg to Burns. Burns will shoot it. It's deflected and denied there by Hofer. And the Blues will get it back to center. Avalanche dump it back down low into the St. Louis end. It's Parayko who will get it back. He has some time to regroup. Let's go, Colorado. Which club will win? I still think the Avalanche will win. Here's Parayko. Behind the net then for St. Louis. Parayko back over then for Cairo, who will chip it off the boards to center. Now Blackenberg battling forward as well. Dvorsky trying to get this one free. Dvorsky banks it back down low then into the Avalanche zone. Kadri battling forward with Broberg. Through to center. Colton tried to get it back then. Stolen back by Dvorsky. Dvorsky into the Avalanche zone. Shoots it. Saved by Blackwood. Rebounds in front. And cleared away. Mailloux to Cairo. Cairo comes in. Fires it. It goes wide. What a block. Through to center then. Mailloux gets it back for the Blues. Mailloux to Broberg. Broberg comes in. Cross-ice pass. Thomas fumbled the puck. He had a golden chance there to get a hat trick. but could not convert, and a whistle blown dead here. Or I'm sorry, I thought I heard a whistle, but there was not a whistle. I'm hearing things. Holloway will get it into the Avalanche zone. Thomas, cross-ice pass then. Snuggerud battling forward with Holloway. Manson battling forward as well. Over to Snuggerud, a shot. That one goes wide. Manson chipped off the boards. Holloway back down low then for Snuggerud. Snuggerud battling forward then in the corner. Gotta love Dvorsky's game. I agree. He's been very good. Here's Theo Lindstein now, who will dump it furthermore. A shot there by Snuggerud goes off of Blackwood and wide. Now Parayko battling forward here. Good pressure by the Blues. Avalanche will get it back into the St. Louis end. Holloway on the right side. Now a shot from Kiviranta is blocked. Holloway gets it back then for the Blues. Through center, Kulak. 2 minutes to go here in the second period. Here's Natchez. Dropping it back then for McKinnon, who will carry it through center. Natchez takes it back into the zone, gets around Berggren. He's tied up there. And a penalty coming up, and this one's going to be against the Blues, and the Avalanche will get their second power play of the game. And this time it's going to be on Colton Parayko for a high stick. This power play will carry over into the third period if there is no goal scored. Avalanche are 0 for 1 tonight. We have 86 people watching this live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement. It is a 2-2 hockey game. Goals from Robert Thomas, who has 2 tonight, and Parker Kelly and Brent Burns. Avalanche power play is underway. Face-off won by the Blues. They will clear it off the boards back to center. Devon Toews gives it back for Marty Natchez. Natchez down the right side, carries it through center, up top to Toews. Avalanche's power play has not been as good as you'd think it'd be. Here's Toews at the point. Back to Kadri. Kadri down low then for Nelson. Nelson to Kadri, up top Toews, back over to Natchez. Natchez to Toews, back over to Natchez at the point. Natchez down low, McKinnon in front. Nelson a chance. That one is blocked. Mailloux will steal it back for the Blues and clear it all the way down the other way. Last minute of play in the second period. Blackwood drops it back for Toews. Toews back over then for McKinnon. McKinnon will carry it through center off the boards to Nelson. Nelson for McKinnon. Will deke around down low. Nelson battling forward then alongside Parayko. Trying to get that one free as Kadri in the corner. Puck is still tied up. McKinnon up top to Toews. Toews to McKinnon. McKinnon loops around. Down low then for Natchez. Less than 30 seconds to go. McKinnon at the top of the circle. Fires it on block. Rebound in front. And a good chance there for Natchez is denied. Blues will try and clear to center. They'll get it there. Toews to Kadri. Kadri back over then to Toews. Natchez brings it into the zone. Less than 10 seconds to go as Merlinski back over to Kadri. Kadri shoots it. Save rebound in front. They jab at that puck, and Hofer keeps it out. And that will do it for period number 2. Some good chances for both sides. An Avalanche power play unable to convert. 2 goals from Robert Thomas and a goal from Brent Burns. Makes it a 2-2 hockey game after 40 minutes of play. That being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack. Go get a drink. Do what you got to do. We'll be back for period number 3 momentarily. Got 90 people here in the chat. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. This is the countdown to the third period. Whew. That was a fun second period there. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It is greatly appreciated. Again, there's implications tonight. If the Avalanche win, they clinch that Central Division spot and the top seed in the Western Conference. If the Blues win, they move to within 3 points of a playoff spot. There's a lot on the line here in this game tonight. But we'll be back after about 15, 20 minutes or so of intermission time. But I appreciate all you guys tuning in. It means a lot. Where's Parker? Is he still in the game? Kelly is still in the game. He doesn't typically play on power plays, though. And the Avalanche were just on a power play, so that was why you weren't hearing his name. But he typically does play on power plays, just not... Or typically doesn't play on power plays, is what I meant. He's out there. He's still got another period to hit your bet. But he had a goal in the first period, which definitely was a positive for sure, though. All right. Sorry, guys. Scrolling on Facebook like an idiot. Let's go Avalanche. Love to see that. We got fans from both teams here in the chat. That is great to see. Going to take a second to update the all-time score sheet. Stick around, guys. Subscribe down below if you're new. Nick Blackenberg, first career watch with Nordic Point. I can't find the Avalanche logo. Here we go. Is Gavin Brindley still injured for the Avalanche fans in the chat? Is Brindley injured or is he just not in the NHL? Either seems believable, I guess. All right. Got about 13 minutes. My clock's a little bit off. About 12 minutes to go till the third period. All right. All right. Got 3 notifications on Twitter. All right, got about 8.5 minutes to go till the start of the third period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Tired, not going to lie. But looking forward to commentating this week. Our commentary schedule for the week is as follows. We'll be live on Tuesday the 7th for Predators and Ducks. On April 8th, we'll be live for Rangers, Sabres, Oilers, Sharks. And then Flyers versus Red Wings, and then Sharks versus Ducks. So fortunately for you guys, for the Sharks and Ducks fans, you will get 2 streams for those 2 teams this week. One of them being against each other, of course. And then we won't have any streams Friday or Saturday. Sunday will be at 9 p.m. Mammoth versus Flames. So there you go. And then we get ready for the final week of the regular season, which will feature 5 commentaries. And then obviously the playoffs will start that Saturday. Frozen Four. I forgot all about that, actually. Wisconsin, North Dakota, Michigan, and Denver. That should be a great Frozen Four matchup for sure. Flyers are in a playoff spot. Porter Martone, first NHL goal in overtime. Kaprizov hat trick against the Red Wings today. Just watching the NHL highlights. He put it all on Talbot. He dominated Cam Talbot. Would have been awesome to do a quadruple header today if it wasn't Easter. Oh my God, that Stutzla goal against the Hurricanes was insane. Vegas finna decide who wins. Yeah. All right, got about 5.5 minutes to go till period number 3. I'm going to add some time to the clock here because my clock's a little bit off. So I'm going to add about 20 more seconds on again to the clock because my time's a little bit off. I apologize, guys. New subscriber. Thank you, John McClain. I appreciate it. We do live commentary streams for all 32 teams every single day. I appreciate your support, bro. It means a lot. We are now a little bit over 70 subscribers away from 5,600. Would love to hit that before the playoffs. And I think we will with the way that we're trending. All right, third period coming up after this. Avalanche winner, we'll see, bro. What's Hoppy Box up to right now? All right. Who do I got for the next goal scorer? You'll bless me if it cashes. Next player to score. Give me Marty Natchez. I think Natchez will make it 3-2 Avalanche. I wouldn't bet on me, though, because I've been wrong many times before. But if you want to, go ahead. Marty Natchez. All right, got about 2 minutes till the start of period number 3. Hopefully, or potentially, the final period of today. Alrighty, everyone, let's get ready for the start of period number 3 between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. Second period recap, goals were scored by Robert Thomas and Brent Burns, making it a 2-2 hockey game after 40 minutes of play. Take a look at your stats through 40 here. Shots are 20-17 in favor of the Avalanche. Face-off percentage is 55% in favor of the Blues. Power play, St. Louis 0 for 1, Colorado 0 for 1 as well. Hits are 12-9 in favor of the Blues, and block shots are 9-7 in favor of the Blues as well. As we get ready for the start of period number 3, Avalanche get 15 seconds of 5-on-4 power play time. Again, I said at the beginning of the second, not a fan of the power plays that carry over into periods. It's hard to set up and get momentum, but sometimes I'm wrong. Face-off coming up here now. Period number 3 is underway. Face-off is won back into the St. Louis zone. It's Broberg who nearly fumbles the puck. Avalanche get control. Lehkonen backhand in front. Deny there. Natchez try to get a chance on, and it's thrown back up top. Taves over to Malinsky. Malinsky to Taves. Natchez up top, looks for options. Cross ice pass to McKinnon, a shot saved by Hofer. Power play is over. Berggren off the boards then for Lehkonen. Natchez up top, then Malinsky, a shot tipped wide of Hofer off of McKinnon. Now Natchez trying to bank it down low, battling for it then with Berggren. Here's Taves. Back in his own end then to Malinsky. Now Devon Taves takes it back, will carry it into the zone. Kadri back over then for Landeskog. It's intercepted then by St. Louis. Holloway through center off the boards to Snuggerud. Snuggerud battling for it then with Kulak behind the net. Manson chips it off the boards. Here come the Avalanche through center. Manson 2-on-1 into the zone then with speed. Kadri a chance, and it goes just wide. He tried to tuck it on the far side, but didn't get enough oomph on that puck. Here come the Blues the other way. Holloway to Thomas. Thomas pass over up top. Shot on there by Holloway is denied by Blackwood. And here come the Avs the other way. Landeskog will backhand it down low. Stolen back by Blackenberg. Up top, shot there from Kivirant to save. Rebound in front. And Colton with a good chance there is broken up. Here come the Blues the other way. It's Cairo 1-0. Comes in. Save there by Blackwood with the pad. Now Drury battling for it on the right side. Cairo trying to get it free as well. Banked off the boards all the way back into the St. Louis end. We will get a whistle blown dead for an icing with 18:07 to go in this third period. Colorado win. We'll see, bro. Good chance there off rip. Kadri had a great chance, but it was off a Hofer and wide. Is Parker in? Yes. we'll see if he gets any chances. Face-off coming up here now in the St. Louis end. Or I apologize, the Colorado end. Drury versus Dvorsky. Off the draw, it's won back then by the Avalanche. Drury, down low then for Burns. Burns will chip it off the boards and back into the St. Louis end. Hofer gives it back then for Cam Fowler. Fowler, off the boards to Dvorsky. Cleared to center, Cairo. Will dump it down low into the Colorado end. Malinsky. Over then to Landeskog. It's broken up by Finley. Now O'Connor trying to get that one back. 17.5 minutes to go in the third. And a whistle blown dead. We have a penalty coming up. It is going to be against the Blues. It'll be Finley who will head to the box. And we will see a Colorado power play coming up. Montgomery growing a little bit of a beard there. I haven't noticed that. Yeah, Finley called there for I believe that's a trip or a interference on O'Connor. I originally thought that would be on the Avalanche. Yeah, I don't know about that call. That's a little interesting, but regardless of what I think or what anybody thinks, it is a Colorado power play coming up. Avalanche are 0 for 2 tonight. Face-off coming up here now in the St. Louis zone. It's won back then by the Avalanche. On the right side, Natchez. Back down low then. It's intercepted by the Blues. Here they come shorthanded. Buchnevich now through center. Will dump it down low into the Avalanche end. It's stolen back then by Natchez. Marty Natchez with speed. Drops it back for Nathan MacKinnon. MacKinnon to Nelson. Nelson to Natchez. Natchez at the top of the circle. Back to MacKinnon. MacKinnon to Natchez on the right side. Natchez to MacKinnon. Comes in front. Nelson a chance. Fires it high. Now Broberg. Battling for it in the corner. It's stolen back by the Blues and cleared down the other way. Nelson lost his helmet. Here's Landeskog now in the Colorado zone. Back over for Kadri. Kadri to Taze. Over then for Marty Natchez now, who will carry it through center. Back over to MacKinnon. Stolen back by the Blues. Thomas will get it to center. Devon Taze. Back over then for Kadri. Kadri to Taze. Over then for Natchez, who will carry it through center. Marty Natchez now looked for options. Back over to MacKinnon. MacKinnon comes into Natchez, a shot, and he fires it wide. Kadri battling for it down low. Played back up to the point. Taze. Up top to Kadri. Kadri down low to Natchez. Natchez to Kadri. Waits. Up top Taze. Back over to Natchez now, who looks for options. Taze to Natchez. Natchez to MacKinnon. MacKinnon tied up there by the Blues. They will get it through center. That'll pretty much do it for the power play. Here's Parayko down the other way. Fires it on Blackwood, who makes the save. And we are going to see another penalty come up here. This time it's against the Avalanche. So 4-on-4 for a little bit here, followed by a St. Louis power play. Exactly 6 seconds of 4-on-4 time with 15:40 to go in the third. It is MacKinnon who will head to the box. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. We have just crossed over the 2,000 view mark on this live commentary stream. Face-off coming up here now in the Colorado zone. Face-off won by the Blues. Up top then Broberg. Pass back to Thomas. Thomas to Holloway. Up to the point then Broberg trying to deke that one in. Over then for Thomas on the right side. Thomas, red circle to Holloway, a shot. Saved there in front by Blackwood. And cleared down the other way. Blues are now on the power play. Broberg will give it up then for Snuggerud. Drop back for Thomas. Thomas with 2 goals tonight. Holloway to Robert Thomas. Back down low then for Holloway. It's broken up then by the Avalanche. Tays off the boards then and cleared. Back into the St. Louis end. Here's Philip Broberg now, who carries this puck through center. Drop back then for Holloway. Both have picked up offers sheeted by the Oilers, or from the Oilers, I should say. Here's a break the other way. 2-1 for the Avalanche. Lekin into the zone. Nelson pass over. And it's broken up. Battling for it then. Hofer pushed out of his net. Jabbing at that puck in front. St. Louis trying to get it loose. Nelson firing for the wide open net. It's broken up then by the Blues. Hofer was thrown out of his own net. And the Avalanche were jabbing at that puck. The whistle is blown and Hofer does not have his skate blade anymore. He'll come to the bench. What a sequence that was. It's not often we see something like that. Hofer was knocked away from his own crease. Whether it was his own team or the Avalanche players or not, that was interesting. And he forces a stoppage. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement. Brings more people into the commentary. We got about 14 and a half minutes to go in regulation. Who will score that game-breaking goal? Or the go-ahead goal, I guess I should say. That'd be the accurate words. 14:23 left to go in the third. Face off in the St. Louis end. Kadri versus Holloway. Face off then is won back by the Blues. They'll try and salvage the power play time they still have. Mayu will drop it off then for Buchnevich. Buchnevich through center. Drops it back for Kyrou. Kyrou to Berggren. Will dump it around then behind the net. Buchnevich circles the boards on the right side. Buchnevich down low to Kyrou. Kyrou pass in front is broken up. Now Buchnevich trying to feed it all the way up top to Drew, and it's broken up. Time winding down on the St. Louis power play. Druin through the zone with speed. Back to Buchnevich. Buchnevich shoots it. It goes off of Blackwood. And he moves the net. And that results in another whistle. Power play is over for the Blues. Shots are still 22-21 in favor of the Avs. Both teams back at even strength. Stanley Cup playoffs are only 15 days away. Face off here now is won back by the Blues. Shot on there is blocked. Tays tries to get it to center, then to McKinnon. Battling forward here on the right side. Fowler will dump it into the Avalanche zone furthermore. Now Tays off the boards to McKinnon. Puck will slide back in there off the side of the net and into the St. Louis zone. That's an icing against Colorado. Again, 13:15 to go. 6 live commentaries this week. We'll be back on Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Ducks and Predators. Face-off coming up here now in the Colorado zone is won back by the Avalanche. Burns off the boards and back into the St. Louis end. Hofer off then for Parayko. Turnover in front. Nature's a shot. Save. Rebounds in front. And a good save there by Hofer on Natchez as it was a turnover forced. Cairo battling for it then with Malinsky. Blackenberg trying to chip it off the boards. Natchez will get it to center. Cleared back down low then. Malinsky carries it behind the net then for Colorado. McKinnon through his legs, stolen back then by Tucker. Tyler Tucker now with that puck. Fowler up then to Holloway. Holloway through center, drop back then to Thomas. Backhand up top then for Tucker, broken up by Lehkonen. Here comes Natchez now with speed through center. Nelson battling for it down low behind the net. Trying to get that one free then is Natchez fighting with Snuggerud on the right side. Back down low, Nelson. Nelson up top. Back to Manson. Manson to Nelson. Cross ice pass is broken up. Blues will backhand this one into the Colorado end. Chipped off the boards then by Kadri. Down low into the St. Louis zone. Holloway off the boards for Broberg. Broberg then for Suter. Pia Suter clears it through center. Broberg at the point. Bank back down low then. Berggren shoots it. It goes wide of Blackwood. Here's Logan Mailloux then in the St. Louis zone. Off the boards then for Berggren with that puck. Dropped up top then. Here's Mailloux, a shot. Save. Rebounds in front. They jab it there on Blackwood. And he keeps it out. $11:27 remaining here in regulation. Both teams getting plenty of chances. But we stay tied 2 apiece here in the third period. Thank you all for tuning in as always. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement. Brings more people into the wonderful commentary. Let's take a look at the save percentage numbers here for both these goaltenders. We'll start off with Joel Hofer, who has made 21 saves on 23 shots, .913 save percentage. And Mackenzie Blackwood, 20 saves on 22 shots, .909 save percentage. Again, both these goaltenders have generally been really good in live commentaries. Blackwood, a 910 through 10 live streams, and Hofer, a 915 through 4. Blackwood with a shutout in there. Hofer doesn't have a shutout, but he does have a perfect game with a relief. So So again, we'll be live on Tuesday night, Predators versus Ducks. That'll be our next commentary. All right. Back here from commercial break, 11:27 to go in the third period between the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. Face-off here in the Avalanche zone. Thomas versus Drury. Face-off is won back then by the Blues. Avalanche steal it down low. Tays cleared to center. Here's Ross Colton trying to get sent on a breakaway there, battling forward with Holloway. Poke checked ahead, then Drury gets it back. Drury dumps it around behind the net. Hofer comes out of his net to play the puck. What is he doing? Thankfully, the Blues got it back before it could go wrong. Here's Thomas now at center. Pass over then for Snuggerud, who dekes it into the zone. Now Holloway battling forward on the right side. Avalanche get it back. Tays off the boards then for Colton, who will backhand it down low into the St. Louis end. Approaching the halfway mark of period number 3. Still no goals scored here in this third. We are still tied at 2. It's been a lot of neutral zone hockey. Toropchenko Over then to Buchnevich, a shot. That one goes wide of Blackwood. And now through center, here's Lehkonen. Arturi Lehkonen back down low to McKinnon. Broken up then by the Blues, who carry it down the other way. Buchnevich down the right side. He's got some room. Backhand on. Goes up and out of play. Bet on St. Louis. Will you win? Yes or no? I think the Avs will win, but the Blues are playing well. I'm going to say, you know what? I'll say yes. I think the Blues will win. I think the Blues will win. I'm changing my take. I think the Blues will win. Why not? Why not? Face off here in the Colorado end. Only one way to find out, you're right. Face off one back then by the Avalanche. Burns to center. Landeskog chipped off the boards then for Blackenberg. Puck will slide back into the St. Louis zone for another icing. 10:08 to go. Halfway through the third. It is almost midnight here on the East Coast. But I appreciate you guys turning out here for this game tonight. We'll keep on grinding towards the playoffs. Face off in the Colorado zone then is one back by the Avalanche to center. Fowler gets it back down low. We'll chip it off the boards. And grab back by Nelson. Off to Burns. Kadri. Over then for Blackenberg. In the zone, Landeskog tried to throw a pass down low. Not sure why he fed it to Nelson when he had Kadri wide open. Here come the Blues the other way. Berggren to Fowler. Back to Berggren. Fires it on. Backhand in front. And a big save there by Blackwood. Puck up top. Tucker to Berggren. Blues pressuring here. Berggren a shot. And that one goes right. Rebound in front. It is broken up. Down low in the corner. Then Suter battling for it. Manson fighting with Neighbors as well. Up top, Tucker shoots it. It goes wide. He had plenty of room. Fowler battling for it then with Nelson. Blackenberg will clear this one back to center. Druin will give it back then for Tucker. Tyler Tucker here in his own zone. 9 minutes to go in the third. Parayko off the boards then for Kyrou, who dumps it down low into the Avalanche end. On the right side, Dvorsky dumps it behind Blackwood down low. Now battling for it in the corner is Kulak alongside Druin. A lot of battles here in corners in this game. Dalibor Dvorsky gets it back down low in the St. Louis end. 8.5 minutes to go in the third. Kyrou carries it through center. Up top then for Parayko. Pass down low is broken up. Kyrou below the line for St. Louis. Whistle blown with 8:19 to go. And I think a penalty coming up here against the Avalanche. Yep. We will see a St. Louis power play. $8:19 to go in the third period. We are still tied at 2 apiece. We will see if this results in the go-ahead goal. We'll find out. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. Helps out with the engagement. Brings more people into the wonderful commentary. We have 110 people here in this wonderful stream. Thank you all so much for that. Oh my goodness. Hope you all had a great Easter Sunday. Got to see your family if you celebrate Easter. If not, hope you have a good week coming up. Got to see some family this weekend. That's why there was no commentaries until today, of course. $8:19 to go here in regulation. This is the only game going on tonight here on the late slate. There was 7 games today in the NHL. A lot of eventful ones, a lot of fun games to watch as well, especially for the Eastern Conference playoff race. Wild beat the Red Wings. Penguins beat the Panthers. Flyers beat the Bruins. They're in a playoff spot now. Hurricanes and Sens is 6-3 Senators. Devils shut out the Habs, and the Caps beat the Rangers 8-1. Power play for St. Louis. Snuggerud. Back to Thomas. Thomas with 2. Fires it on. It's blocked. Snuggerud. Back over then for Neighbors. Neighbors to Thomas here on the right side. Thomas down low for Snuggerud. Fires it on. And it goes back down low to the corner. Fed back up to the point then for Broberg. Broberg for Holloway. Holloway battling for it then with McKinnon. Stolen back then by the Avalanche. And cleared back down into the St. Louis zone. Blues is 0 for 2 tonight with a shot on. Here's Thomas. Dumps it down low into the Colorado zone. Neighbors. Battling on the right side then with Malinsky. Up top, Broberg. Back then for Thomas. Thomas down low then to Snuggerud. Snuggerud to Thomas. Robert Thomas up top to Broberg. Can't get the shot on. Now Holloway fires it. Deflected. It's in the crease. They don't know where it is. Jabbing at that puck. And it goes wide. If only Snuggerud knew where that puck was. It was wide open there in front. Thomas on the right side trying to clear. Broberg intercepted by the Avalanche. Drury will get it out to center. Not all the way. Broberg carries it in. Pass over for Cairo. Poke checked. Back into the neutral zone. Now Buchnevich will bring it back then for Fowler. Fowler for Cairo. Cairo for Cam Fowler, who loops around now at center. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Berggren will dump it down low into the Avalanche zone. Taze fighting there then with Cairo. Here's Burns with that puck. Cleared all the way back into the St. Louis end. That will do it for the power play. 6:13 to go in the third. Cam Fowler with speed. Chipped off the boards. Then McKinnon battling for it down low. Now Kulak. Over then for Montour. Now Natchez to McKinnon. McKinnon kind of falls on his back there. Up top, Kulak has shot. That one goes wide. Chipped up top then to McKinnon. Fires it on. Blocked. Another chance for Malinsky. A shot on. Save there. McKinnon. Off the boards to Kulak. Kulak up top, Malinsky. Malinsky shoots it. Deflected wide of Hofer. Kulak will dump it behind the net then for McKinnon. McKinnon to Natchez a drive. And that one is blocked there as well. McKinnon. Intercepted then by St. Louis. Here's Druin. Drops it back then for Parayko. 5:20 to go in the third. Mailloux then for Dvorsky. Dvorsky will dump it down low into the Colorado end. Montour will clear it all the way back into the St. Louis zone. That's an icing with 5:11 to go. Shots are 26-25. Both the goalies have put on a show here in this third period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Face-off is won back by the Avalanche. Manson will clear to center. Kadri dumps it down low into the St. Louis end. Mailloux off the boards. Dvorsky stolen back by the Avs. Manson a shot on, saved by Hofer. Kadri down low up top, then Manson. Back to Nelson, who fans a shot on. Now Landeskog jabbing at that puck in front. They could not get a shot on. Now Berggren dumps it down low into the Avalanche zone. Manson back over then for Taze. Taze to Landeskog. Landeskog then to Kadri, who will dump it down low into the St. Louis end. Hofer gets it back. Nearly fed a pass to Kadri. That would have been bad. Here's Kulak now down low. A shot on his block. Blues will clear it. Back to center. 4:10 left to go in regulation. We are still tied at 2. Here's Brett Kulak now behind the net for the Avalanche. Back up then for Kelly, who dumps it down low then into the St. Louis end. Cleared back to center. Kulak. Down low here for the Avalanche. Burns. Pass up top then for Kelly. Kelly a shot. And it goes off of Hofer and wide. Now Kulak another drive on. That one goes wide as well. Drury on the right side to Kelly. Parker Kelly will backhand this one behind the net then. It's grabbed up top. Kulak for Drury. Back over then for Colton. Ross Colton on the right side to Kulak. A shot. It's gloved by Hofer with 3:27 to go in regulation. We will step aside for the final time here in this third period. Shots are 29-25 in favor of the Avalanche. But we are still tied at 2 apiece here in this third period. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. Be sure to like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, brings more people into the wonderful commentary. Good morning, JJ. How we doing? Good to see you, bro. We are less than 70 subscribers away from 5,600. Really appreciate all your guys' support tonight. Go Avs. Love to see it. Got 120 people here in this live commentary. Good to see some early NHL for you. Hell yeah, brother. Love to hear that. So again, let's go over the playoff implications once again in the results of this game. If the Avalanche win, they clinch the Central Division spot and the first place seed in the Western Conference. If St. Louis wins, they move within 3 points with 6 more games to play. Face off in the Blues end. Even a point for both teams is huge. Face off won by St. Louis. They will clear it back to center. Tays battling for it then with Holloway. Grab back down low then by Suter, who will get it back to center. Holloway back down low and taken back by the Avs. Landeskog. Up top then to Natchez. Natchez with speed. 3 minutes to go. Hold to the top of the circle. Tays comes in. Through the legs McKinnon. Pass in front. Broken up. Now Mailloux. Try to throw it up then to center. Here come the Blues the other way. It's a 2-on-1. Snuggerud with Thomas. Snuggerud dekes in. Pass over. They score! Robert Thomas, the hat trick, and the go-ahead goal. It's 3-2 Blues. What a play by Jimmy Snuggerud, and Robert Thomas has 3 goals tonight. And with less than 3 minutes to go in regulation, the Blues have taken a 3-2 lead. The 13th hat trick in Watch with Nordic history. Robert Thomas with 2:50 left to go in this hockey game. It is 3-2. Almost done. Yeah, Blackwood had no chance on that play. What a play by Snuggerud. Oh, man. 3-point game for Snuggerud. 3-point game for Thomas. A hat trick. And the first one since January in a live commentary. Here's Brent Burns now carrying it through center. Burns. Cross-ice pass then to Lehkonen. Backhanded down low. Stolen back then by Suter. Neighbors clears it back to center then. Now Bergeron down low. Parayko. Fighting then with Drury. Drury back down low then for Burns. Brent Burns will regroup now down low. 2 minutes to go in regulation. Avalanche will look to pull Blackwood. Here's McKinnon. Takes it behind the net. Backhand in front. Save there by Hofer. With exactly 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Robert Thomas, all 3 of St. Louis's goals tonight. The 13th player in Watch with Nordic history to score a hat trick. And it's the first one since January in a live commentary. That's awesome to see. That's why we do it. That's why I love doing this. You get to carve out pieces of history. Empty net for the Avalanche. Probably woke up my family in the other room with that commentary goal. Face-off here won by the Blues. They will try and clear it out the other way. And a whistle blown dead. Penalty coming up. Oh, my Lord. Penalty coming up against the Avalanche. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. The Avs just took a penalty with 2 minutes to go. That is horrible timing. Hey, Rex, thanks for the $5 dono. Thanks for streaming and nothing listening to the top-notch coverage while on Easter dinner. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, happy Easter. This is a good game tonight. So, Blues power play with 1:54 to go. Who was the last one to score a hat trick? It was Brock Nelson. Fun fact, it was Brock Nelson, who is literally in this game right now. We'll come all the way back down to the Colorado zone. Blackwood will go back into his net. And with 1:54 to go, the Blues will go to the power play. And a huge ref you suck chant here in Colorado. Face-off now won by the Blues. Mailloux fires it down low. Stolen back then by Taze, who will chip it off the boards. Mailloux to Holloway. Pass up top. Fowler to Mailloux at the point. Back over then for Cam Fowler. Fowler to Robert Thomas. Thomas to Snuggerud. Blues winding down that time. Here's Robert Thomas. Up top to Fowler. Down low, Snuggerud shot on, saved by Blackwood. Now Thomas trying to clear. It's taken back by the Avalanche. Here they come. 3-on-2 breakaway the other way. Nelson to Taze is broken up there. Battling for it down low in the corner, approaching the final minute of play in regulation. Empty net for the Avalanche. Holloway back up then for Bergeron, and a whistle blown dead here for an offsides against the Blues with 1:04 to go. Shots are dead even here, 28 apiece. What a play by Snuggerud. It's the same 3 players who have been converting all night. Holloway, Snuggerud, and Thomas. In basically that same order. 3 points for all 3 of them tonight. Wow. Talk about a valuable line. Avalanche will call their timeout. This is commentary stream number 207. Thank you all so much for your support. We'll be live again on Tuesday night. Predators versus Ducks. Faceoff's going to come here outside of the St. Louis end. I believe Blackwood will stay out of the net. So we're still 6-on-5. Faceoff one. No, Blackwood's going back to his net, actually. So we'll put a little bit of a hold on that. Faceoff here now is won by the Avs. Blackwood will go to the bench. Last minute of play in regulation. Nelson. Cross-ice pass to Natchez. Natchez looping around. Blues poke check it back to center. Marty Natchez now holding it with 45 seconds to go. Drops it back for McKinnon. McKinnon with speed through center. Broken up then by Nelson. Blues get it back. They'll try and go for the empty net. They don't get enough oomph on that puck. 30 seconds to go. Burns back to Natchez. Natchez carries it through center, backhands it down low. Thomas looked for the empty net. Buchnevich pass back over then for Neighbors. He can't get there in time. Neighbors to Buchnevich, who will fire for the empty net just wide. 15 seconds to go. McKinnon battling for with Thomas. Thomas wants 4. McKinnon now, 5 seconds to go. Broken up then by the Blues. Neighbors will take it, fire it down the other way, and that will do it. Robert Thomas, with 3 goals in that game, gives the Blues the 3-2 win. As well as 3-point games from Dylan Holloway and Jimmy Snuggerud. Your final score, Blues 3, Avalanche 2. What a game. What a game from that St. Louis second line, or top line. Oh, my Lord. First career hat trick for Robert Thomas. That was unreal. All right. That'll do it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Tuesday night for Predators and Ducks. That'll be our next game here up on the commentary schedule. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it.